Hi, my name is Brian Teo, and this is my own personal reflection on an ethical dilemma that I had faced during a written exam. More specifically, this was a moment in time when I had helped a friend cheat by showing them my paper. Now moving on to my introduction, just a bit about what an ethical dilemma really is. It's that it's a situation where we face conflicting values with really no obvious right answer. So these decisions often involve moral discomfort and pressure and really require deep reflection and ethical reasoning. In this reflection, I will really be talking about what happened, why it was difficult, how my cultural background affected my decision, and how I can learn from it. And I will also use some ethical theories to help explain my thinking and what I learned from it. Now a bit of background about the situation that I had. During a live in-person exam back in my high school days, this was where a close friend that was sitting beside me whispered for help, right? So they said they were really stressed and they really couldn't think that clearly and really asked me a specific question during our business exam. So in that moment, I didn't really say too much to not give away that she was asking me something in specific. However, I did tilt my paper ever so slightly so they could see my answers. And when they finally finished copying, I had put it down. But after the exam, however, I had found out that I had been caught by the principal and had really faced adequate repercussions for it. My parents were called, and I really got a warning letter as well. So the ethical dilemma that I really had was first, help my friend, which would really show loyalty and kindness, especially since they seemed really desperate during that time. Or I could refuse to help, and this would protect my academic integrity, but might hurt the friendship and cause a bit of awkwardness between us. So it really wasn't just about rules, it was also about values and relationships. Now, on to the cultural influences that affected me. Growing up in an Asian culture, I was really taught to prioritize group harmony, avoid confrontation, and always help those that were close to me. So, saying no in that moment felt like betrayal. That cultural lens really made the decision much, much harder for me because being a good friend means being supportive no matter what. Now, using a few frameworks, let's look at if what I did was really right or not. Applying the consequentialist thinking. This is what action causes the most good and least harm. So, helping my friend might have helped them in the short term, but it was really unfair and it risked both of us getting into trouble. So, looking back on it, not helping would have caused less harm overall, especially since we got caught. So, from this view, I think my choice really wasn't the best one. Now, on to the duty based framework. This theory is really about what my moral obligations are. This is regardless of outcomes. As a student, I am really expected to follow exam rules and not help others cheat. Doing the right thing means choosing integrity, even when it feels uncomfortable or costly. Even though I didn't say anything during the exam, tilting my paper itself broke that rule. From this view, I had failed to really do my duty as a student. Now, applying virtue ethics. This approach asks what kind of person would you really want to be? If I want to be honest, responsible, trustworthy, I shouldn't act in a way that is not, right? Even when it's hard, helping someone cheat really doesn't show those kind of values. This theory shows that I didn't really act like the person I want to become. Therefore, in the end, I am still wrong. Now, on to cultural conflict and reflection. After the exam, I had felt really stressed. I had felt guilty. In my culture, helping friends shows loyalty, and saying no can really seem rude, right? That pressure was really what made me help, even though I knew it was wrong. My values of honesty and fairness clashed with those cultural expectations. And I really realized how emotional and confusing things can be, especially when culture is involved. So from this, I really learned to balance loyalty with integrity and to stand by what is right, even when it's really hard to do. Now, on to my own personal learning. So, ethical decisions are rarely ever easy, they are too emotionally uncomfortable. And I've also really learned that I deeply value relationships, sometimes even too much. So, frameworks really give us a clarity when we are under those pressures, however, and I really learned to pause, think, and prioritize fairness and integrity over really just an emotional reaction. So, growth really happens when we own up to our own mistakes and reflect on how to improve. So, these lessons really all matter because finance, which is my future career path, really involves high ethical judgment such as money, trust, and accountability. So, whether it be reporting insider information or client conflicts, there will always be these kind of pressures. So, whether from clients, colleagues, or even my own personal interests, these experiences reminded me to act with integrity even when it's uncomfortable in my future roles. So, from now on, I will truly rely, or rather try my best to rely, on frameworks like these to guide my decisions with long term impact. So, in conclusion, reflecting on this dilemma really helped me see, although it was kind to help me, I was definitely in the wrong. So, I now can really understand the value of these ethical theories and the insight it has given me. And I'm really committed to acting with integrity, not just in exams, but in life and my future career. Thank you very much. And these are my references.